Today's review is a breakfast New England IPA, and this is from Heist Brewing. But what's it going to be like? And what is a breakfast New England IPA? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we've got the glasses on, so there's things to be read. This is a Heist Brewery beer. It is called a Super Nintendo Chalmers. It is Lucky Charms, if you know that breakfast cereal from, I think it's an American thing. This got Citra, Cryo Sabro, Equinaut and Vic Secret, and it's called a breakfast New England IPA, and it's 6.5%. And the blurb, I didn't read the blurb. I thought, oh, I quite like the sound of those, some of those hops. And I thought breakfast is a bit of a thing and Lucky Charms is just a name. But according to the blurb, it has got the little Lucky Charms marshmallow pieces in it. And it's got lactose also in it, which is always something that I'm not a big fan of, lactose in a beer. But it's in this very striking can. I think it looks pretty good. Let's hope the beer's good. The glasses are off. The can is going to be open. And let's drink this thing. So, breakfast New England IPA. I mean, a lot of people say, oh yeah, a lot of New England IPAs look breakfasty. But obviously this got milk in, and I'm a bit worried it's going to be overly sweet as well. If it's got these Lucky Charms sort of, I don't know how they crushed into it. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. Could be a little bit of a sickly mess. Anyway, beer in a glass. We've got this sort of pinky orange coloured beer. But even the head's got a slight sort of pinky tinge to it. 2 fingers, pretty compacted, very hazy, very opaque. I'd say that looks pretty good in a glass. Let's see what the aroma's like. Yeah, you can definitely smell the sort of Sabro, the sort of coconut, pineapple, and there's an element of sort of sweet vanilla aroma as well. It's quite inviting, and it's getting me thinking, I might like this. So let's go for it. Cheers, everyone. Ooh, that is sweet. It's lovely and smooth though. It's got a really sort of velvety smooth body. You get a big hit of that. I mean, it's Cryo Sabro. I don't know if I've ever had Cryo Sabro, which is always, I think, if it's got anything different, as in Cryo or Spectrum hops or Lucamac sort of hops, all those sort of things, they're just going to oomph that flavour up. And you're definitely getting a big heavy hit of Sabro. All the woody coconut, really. Not really getting as much on the pineapple. There's a little bit of lime coming through. There's a little bit of sort of tropical dankness, I would probably say. And there is a lot of sweetness. But I've had a lot worse with lactose and sort of, obviously, the, I don't know, would you call these marshmallow things adjuncts? Let me go in again. Yeah, you get that little tinge of sweetness that almost gets to the point where it's slightly tart and slightly sour. Not quite. There's something pulls it back a little bit. And I don't know whether you need all that. Let the Sabro bring the natural sort of sweetness. I don't want people putting rubbish in my beer, especially sweet stuff, because if it's one thing I can't stand, it is sweet stuff and beer. I mean, if you've ever drank a beer and eaten, like, I don't know, a piece of chocolate or something sweet and chocolatey, it just ruins it. Both things, you know, they shouldn't be put together. It's a little bit too sweet, a little bit too saccharine-y. But it's got a smooth body. There's a little bit of the earthiness coming through. I mean, we've got, what else we've got? Yeah, actually, there's a little bit of that grapefruit coming from, and I think, oh, it's got Equinaut in it. Not one of my favourite hops, but I've had a couple of beers recently with it in, and I've sort of like, I'm always trying to embrace it a little bit. I just think that there's certain things that's quite unique with Equinaut. It's a real sharp, prickly grapefruit flavour. And if it's got other hops, especially if you've got something like Sabro in it, which is quite a sort of sweet, very different sort of hop, then hopefully you'll get a counterbalance there, and you'll get some of the good stuff from both of those, but without being over dominant. But you are getting that sweet Sabro, creamy almost like, you know, creamy mint almost, coconut, woody coconut. And then you get this sort of prickly sort of grapefruit. And it's a very sharp, citrusy, lime even as well. Strong citrus flavours. And that sort of citrus flavour with the sweet flavour is almost like it's yin and yang in terms of a beer. It's a bit of a strange sort of flavour. And it's sort of working, but at the same time I'm getting like, oh, big hits up front of the sweetness. And then a little bit of that prickly grapefruit and sort of grapefruit and sweetness again don't quite work together that well, but it's nice. It's certainly tasty. There's a lot of flavour in this beer, lots of flavour, and I don't think that, I mean, there is that sweetness, but it's not ruining the experience. I don't think I'd want more than one of these. At least there is a little bit of that sort of dry dankness really coming in. It's like, yeah, is it the woody coconut or is it the sharp grapefruit? Difficult to decide. It's not bad. For a New England IPA, it's not bad. It's certainly smooth and creamy on the mouthfeel. But let's get some scores. Okay, the score is in for this Heist beer. And this is a Super Nintendo Chalmers, a breakfast New England IPA. We've got Citrus, Sabro, Equinox, and Vic Secret. Lots of tropicalness. That Equinox bringing a little bit of sort of balance, really, to that with a sharp grapefruit citrus. It's not bad, but let's go for the stores. Starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. This one was, I think, just under a £5. And finally, my overall experience. Tighten the scores up, we get a recommended beer. Total score, it's all right. It's not bad. It's different, it's fun, it's quirky, which I like occasionally, but I wouldn't want to drink it again. I don't think I'd want to have more than one beer like this. It's a little bit too sweet in places, and it's a little sort of unbalanced. Right, dog's barking, that must mean I've got to end. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And until the next one, you know what to do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.